You're welcome to class, everyone. It is day two for this set of Journey to Tech 24. In our last class, we were able to create or set up AWS account. I encourage those who already have an account, but it is more than a year or it is 8 months old, to open a new one so that they can fully enjoy the free tiers available throughout the period of this training. Okay. After that, we were also able to set up our SSH client, which is Temios. There are other kinds of SSH clients. We have PuTTY, we have Mobile Exterm, but for uniformity's sake, and because of the flexibility of Temios, we are adopting Temios for this training. Temios will also work on almost all the operating systems: Linux, Android, Windows, iOS, Mac OS. So Temios is easy and universal for us. And after that, we were also able to create IAM users for our respective AWS account. The idea behind that was that when you're working, you are vulnerable if you work as root, either on your AWS account or even on the Linux server. So rather than signing as root, you create users and give such users permissions to perform root administrative obligations. Okay. Then finally, we were able to set up our first Linux server in cloud. Okay, so today we'll kickstart learning Linux administration. Uh, Using Linux operating system is what we are talking about. And there's some special thing that we need to know about the Linux operating system as a prospective cloud administrator or SRE or DevOps engineer or even cloud solution architect. Okay. Many of us are native users of Windows or even Mac OS because that's the laptop we carry about. We know how to create folders, we know how to create files, we know how to set permissions for files, we know how to hide files, we know how to copy and paste from one folder to another, we know how to even compress or zip or archive files. All right. Those basic things we will learn how to do them in Linux. It is easier doing them from Windows and Mac OS because we do it from the GUI, graphics user interface. All right. Now we would learn how to do stuff like that and deeper things from the command line interface, the CLI. Right. It is not difficult at all. It just requires your patience and then your determination to practice after every class. So let's go ahead into setting up uh, our Linux workstation. So, Mr. Abraham, after this class, are you on the WhatsApp group for Journey to Tech yet? Hello, Mr. Abraham. Are you on the WhatsApp group for Journey to Tech? Kindly
Yes.
unmute yourself and talk to
Yes.
us.
Yes, I'm there, please.
Okay, so if you are there, then just send your email to any of the admin on the group.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay, sure.
you have access to last class video and subsequent videos. Okay,
Okay, thank you very much.
you're welcome, sir. Okay, so let's set up launch our instance. Okay, so let's call it GTT24 server. Let this one be a distro with the RPM. Okay, we're going to use Amazon Linux, and it's going to be Amazon Linux 2. Let's wait for that to load. Okay, we drop this down. Amazon Linux 2. Okay. Then T2 micro frit eligible. The key pair, I explain why you should stick to using one key pair all through. Then security group, we use an existing one. We're going to use our London SG. And then that's it. So let's launch instance. Okay, so let's return and launch another Linux instance, but this time it's going to be a distro under the Debian package. I'll come and explain all these packages to us shortly after these installations. So let's call this GTT24 server under Debian. That one is RPM. This is under Debian. So the distro is going to be Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a distro of Linux under the Debian package manager. Let's use Ubuntu Server 22.04. Also T2 micro. So we're gonna maintain. Then we'll stick to our key pair. And then we'll also for now stick to the London SG launch instance. So if we go to our EC2 dashboard, we have a distro of Linux under RPM and a distro of Linux under Debian. Next thing we're going to do is to connect SSH into both using our Themios. We copy the public IP address, or let me just show you. I showed us in our last class. If you click on the instance ID and then you click connect, look at the public IP and the username. So this is our Themios. Okay, let me remove this too so I can show you how, although we did it in our last class, let me also do it again so you can see. Okay, so let's click on new host. If it is your first time, you first will have to add the key chain first, but we did that in our last class. Is that correct? To gospel, you were in the last class. You remember we did that, right? It's Mr. Gospel in class. New host. Here, you paste the IP address, public IP address of the server. Label, you can call it the name, say GTT24 server, which is going to be RPM. Okay. The username is EC2 user. Look at it. EC2 user. So let's put that here. EC2 user. Oh, Mr. Gospel, I'm sorry. I'm fast. Okay. I'll try take it slow. Actually, I've done some of these things in our last class. That's why I'm moving a bit faster, but it's okay. I'm going to reduce the pace. So next thing is to connect. Add and continue. So we are in. Let's bring in the second one, which is Ubuntu. Click on Vault. Click on New Host. We copy the public IP address of the second server, which is a distro of Linux. Click this. Connect. This is it. We copy this. And then we return to paste. Let's call this JTT24 server under Debian package manager. The username, let's go and check what the username is. Ubuntu, that's the username. Ubuntu. And then the key is London KP. This is it. Then we connect. Add and continue. That's it. So we have SSH into the two servers. Okay, this and this. So let's now backtrack a little and look at some literature for those that likes literature. In the next, for the rest of this month, this is what we're going to be looking at. Linux distros, intro, user management, permissions, packages, networking, okay, all that, right? Although this bootcamp is heavy on hands-on practicals, it's also important to look a bit at the literature supporting what we are learning. So Linux is an open source operating system. When we say something is open source, it means that nobody lays claim to it. It is available for everyone. That's what is meant by open source. If you have enough knowledge of Linux, you can pick the kernel, tweak one or two things, and then add some new features and call it whatever name you want to call it. But irrespective of knowledge you have of Windows OS or Mac OS, you can't tweak it and call it any other name. You're going to be sued because those two operating systems are closed source. So Linux is an open source and it is available for everyone to use, right? Just as every other operating system, Mac OS and Windows, Linux is divided into three parts. The hardware, which is the one you see, you can touch. The Linux kernel. Kernel is central component of any OS, and it manages operations of computer and hardware. It basically manages operations of memory and CPU time. It is the core component of an operating system, and it's a bridge between the apps and data processing performed at the hardware level. So look at this now. Let's say here you have Zoom application as we are using currently. Now on your PC, this is Zoom application. The kernel is what enables your Zoom app to connect to the devices you have on your PC. So if you toggle on your webcam, it is the kernel that helps you to translate the instruction here to the camera on your PC. Okay. Without the kernel, your app will not be able to relate with the different hardware components of your PC. Okay. The kernel is the main component of the Linux operating system and is the core interface between hardware and its processes. Then the third part of Linux system is the user space. This is where users will be directly interacting with the system. This is where users will interact directly with the system. And there are two interfaces, basically. The command line interface, which is the input output. Just as the name implies, you enter commands and it gives you the output, depending on how correct the command you've entered is. We also have the GUI, graphics user interface, as when you are seeing currently, where you can click, where you can drag and drop, where you can paste, you can do all of that. That's graphics user interface. Linux is predominantly a CLI operating system, predominantly a command line interface operating system. All right. Now, Linux distribution. Probably have heard me say Linux distro. This is it now. Linux distribution, which is shortened as distro, basically means different kinds of Linux. It's an operating system compiled from components developed by various open source projects and programmers. There are more than 1,000 Linux distros out there. Okay. And Linux distros are categorized based on their package managers. I've corrected this. This is not package manager. This is package manager. Why this is the installer. So please correct this on the one I sent to you. This is package manager. This is installer. Right? You are seeing just 6 here. There are more than 1,000 distributions of Linux out there, and they are categorized based on where they fall under the package managers. There are many package managers, however, there are two popular and basic ones, which is the RPM, Red Hat Package Manager, and Debian Package Manager. Okay, take package managers for countries of manufacture of cars. You have different kind of cars. However, they are categorized at times based on their countries. German cars, Japanese cars, American cars. Okay. When you talk about German cars, you talk about Mercedes-Benz, BMW, all of that. Japanese, you talk about Toyota, Lexus, Hyundai. And when you talk about US cars, you talk about GMC, you talk about Chevrolet, you talk about Dodge, all of that. So take packages as that as well. Okay. Distributions of Linux are most times categorized based on their package managers. Many package managers, but two important ones we should know and we will work with is the Red Hat Package Manager, RPM, and the Debian Package Manager. And that is why I have launched two instances. One distro of Linux under the Red Hat Package Manager, that is Amazon Linux 2. And the second is a distro of Linux under the Debian Package Manager, and that is Ubuntu. Okay. Now, every package manager have its own unique installer. So you need to install services, you need to install other packages on a particular Linux server. You will install it based on the package manager of such Linux distro. Okay, so for RPM package managers, their installer is Yum, Y-U-M. And for Debian package managers, their installer is apt or apt-get. Okay, you will see us use that often and often when we get into class. Okay, so I think this is a good one. We can now get into hands-on right now. Before we continue, any question? Hello, class. Do you have any question? There are no question. Are we good to go? Can we get into the books of the matter now? Please give me feedback. Are we in class? Should we continue? What's happening? I'm not getting feedback.
Okay, so I don't really get all of it, but I'm just following, like you said, to get the full knowledge of what's going on, I will have to go back to the previous class. So I'm just
Oh,
following. I want to grab this one, then when I go back to the
past
the
video.
previous class, then
Okay.
I'll connect the dots. I think
Right, that's
yeah.
fine. Okay, so this is our first intro to the command line interface. And the first thing we need to know about the command line interface, especially for Linux, which is always called shell prompt, is understanding what you are seeing on your screen right now. Okay. Now, I was telling the US class yesterday that if you have learned very well one distro of Linux, you have learned 95% of all the other distros of Linux. Why? The kernel is the same. The instruction, the commands are the same. Changes only comes when it comes to installation of packages and apps within the specific distros of Linux. Okay, and I'll be showing you even as we move on in class. Okay, so what you are seeing on your screen right now, I'll show you both from, this is the distro of Linux under Red Hat, and this is the distro of Linux under Debian. This is Ubuntu. This one is Amazon Linux. Okay. Now, when you see your shell prompt like this, the name before this is an @ sign or @ logo. The name before the @ logo is the current user. You may have multiple users on your Linux operating system. In fact, AWS allows your Linux to boot into run level 5. So if I say run level, can you see, shows you N5. If I run W flag R, it's still saying run level 5. What run levels are, don't stress about it. We will discuss extensively when we get to that part. Now, what run level 5 means multiple users. That means we have just 2 users on this server technically. The EC2 user and the root. The root is the administrator. Okay. But we can have multiple users if you are on run level 5. Okay, what run level 5 is, I said I will explain when we get. I don't want to overwhelm us with too much information. Let's take it bit by bit so that we can have proper understanding. Okay. So any name you see here before the @ sign, any name, if you see Abraham here, if you see gospel here, it means whatever you see before the @ sign is the name of the current user that is signed in. And after the @ sign, the name you see is the name of the machine, or the name of the server, the name of the laptop, or the name of the computer, whatever you want to call it. Okay? So the name you see here, name of the user, after the @ sign, the name that follows the name of the machine. So it says this user is signed into this machine. And what you see next, either it is a tilde or it is a name, tells you in which folder you are working currently, the present working folder. Okay, tells you the present working folder. All right, so this guy might change. You might see a name here instead of seeing this tilde sign. What this tilde sign is, I will tell you shortly. Okay, and then this $sign you are seeing here means 2 things. When you see $sign like this, it means this interface is ready for your input. You can type. It also means that whatever you do now, this user is not root, is a non-root. It means whatever you do now, you're doing as a non-root user. If this user were to be a root, then what you will see here is hashtag, which we call shebang. Okay, let me switch to root. If I run sudo su, you see that I'm now signed in as root. Okay, and then this guy has turned to hashtags. When you see hashtag like this in a shell prompt, what it means is whatever you do now, it is root that is accredited to be doing. It is credited to root. Okay, so let's exit and go back to our ICT user. Good. Let me clear screen. The same thing here, like I said to you, if you learn one Linux distro properly, you have learned virtually the other distro, 95% of the rest of the distro. Okay. Do you also see this? It says Ubuntu is the user, that is signed into this machine, and this is the current working directory tilde, and this $sign means that you are ready for this shell prompt is ready to accept input. It also means it is a non-root that is working. Okay. Now, let me show you something. When on the Linux server, when you create a user on the Linux system, on the Linux operating system, when a user is created, two other things are automatically created with that user. Please pay attention. When you create a user on the Linux OS, two other things are created with that user. And these two things also bear the same name with the user's name. Okay, so those two things are the primary group of the user and the home directory of the user. The primary group of the user, the home directory of the user. So what that means is, as we have this user here, EC2 user, there is also the primary group of this EC2 user, which is also called EC2 user. And there is also the user home, which is the home directory of this EC2 user, which is also called EC2 user. That's what I'm saying. You can repeat that again. When you create a user on the Linux OS, two things are automatically created and they bear the same name as the user that you just created. So if I create a user and called the user Godson, it means there is also a primary group of that user called Godson, and there is also the home directory or the user home of that group, which is also called Godson. Okay, so how do you differentiate what from what? It is where they are found. I used to differentiate. This one is user home. This one is primary group. This one is user. Now, what made me jump to explain that to you is because of this tilde sign. When you power up a Linux operating system from the command line interface, it will boot by default into the user home of the signed in user. It will boot by default into the user home of the signed in user. Unlike when you power up a Windows, it will boot at the end of the day into your desktop. And from your desktop, you can find your way. But for CLI of Linux, when you power it up, it will boot into the user home of the signed in user. Okay. Now, if EC2 user has booted into the user home, which is a folder of the signed in user, this tilde sign then means this is the user home of this user. Now, to put it straight, without mixing things, whenever you see a tilde sign like this in your command, in your Linux shell prompt, a tilde sign like this means you are in the home directory of whoever is signed in, of whichever user is here. So if what we see here is Abraham, and what we see here is tilde, it means we are in the user home of Abraham user. If what we see here is coach and we find tilde sign here, it means we are currently in the user home folder of coach. So what I'm saying invariably is when you see a tilde sign here, it says you are in the user home of whoever the user here is. Okay. So again, let's explain this. The name here is the name of the user that is presently signed in into this machine name, and this is the current working folder. Other literature calls it present working folder. This is the folder in which this user is at the moment. It can change in the next second, but as you are seeing it in your screen right now, this is the folder this user is. And what's this folder, which is tilde? It means this tilde folder is the user home of this user. Or you call it the home directory this user, which is also bearing EC2 user. So to avoid seeing EC2 user here and EC2 user here, Linux decided to use tilde. Okay, if you understand that properly, then you will also know that this tilde sign here means what? The home directory of this user, Ubuntu user. Okay, so let's create a directory. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry, my network timed out. Let's continue. Start all over. This as well. Start over. Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's do a quick review. What does this tilde sign mean? Can unmute yourself and talk to us. What does the tilde sign that you are seeing there? What does it mean? Hello, are we following? Can you hear me?
Yes.
What does the tilde sign? I've explained it earlier. What do you think the tilde sign here? What does it mean? Okay, so when you see tilde sign like this in your shell prompt, this tilde means you are in the folder, no, you are in the home folder. Linux calls
Directory of the user.
folders directory. Okay. You are in the home folder of this user here. Okay, and I explained that whatever name you see here, and then you find a tilde here, you are in the home folder of whichever user is here. Okay, so we are in the home folder of this EC2 user. Okay, and here we are in the home folder of this Ubuntu user. Okay. And then we said when we create a user, we said two other things are created with that user. What are the two other things?
The primary group of the user and the home directory of the user.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Yeah. And then let us come here and make a directory. Have I done that? Okay, let's say make directory, call it range. Okay. All these simple commands, we'll get to learning them. Let's just ensure we understand short prompt first. So if I cd into orange and I list, do you see that the tilde sign here has changed to what? To orange. So what that means is EC2 user is signed into this machine and C2 user is currently working from the orange folder. Okay, that's what we are saying. So if I go back by one step, I'm back to this guy. So why is this guy showing me tilde? Tilde sign we said is the home directory of the signed in here. If I run print working directory, it shows me the absolute path or the full path of this guy. If I cd back into orange and I run print working directory, and you see it tells me I'm inside orange folder and this is the path to orange folder. Okay, so don't forget, we are looking at your shell prompts like this. You are able to tell what is happening. And these are very simple and basic interview questions. I'm going to ask you, looking at your screen, what's the current working directory? The present working directory? Anybody knows? Looking at this, what's the present working directory?
Orange.
Thank you. Orange.
Orange.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's move on. And as we've talked about the shell prompts, let me also show you one or two things. On your keyboard, if you press the up arrow once, it will show you the last command that you tapped enter for. Either the command worked or not, it will show you. If you keep pressing the up arrow, it will begin to show you other commands in that successive order. Okay, that are the commands I've used. Okay, if I press the down arrow, it takes me back again. Okay, if I press the up arrow, I can use the arrow to the left to move the cursor because I want to go and change something. Okay, I also use the arrow to the right to move the cursor left and right that way. Okay, please know that Linux is case sensitive, right? Linux is what? Case sensitive. So what that means is in Linux, these two or these three or even these four are not the same. Linux is case sensitive. All right, and we can see, we're going to see how that works as we begin to move on. Okay. Now let's talk about navigation. This is where I want to encourage you to pay utmost attention. All that you'll be doing in Linux is heavy on how well you know how to navigate the Linux operating system. Okay. So At navigation, we're going to be looking at the file system on our Linux system. Now, Linux organizes its files in what is called hierarchical directory structure. We can simply say it is organized in a tree-like pattern of directories. I've told us that Linux calls folders directories. Okay. And every Linux part starts from the root. You will see it shortly. The first directory in the Linux file system is called the root directory. Now look at this orange now. If I want to know the part where I am at the moment, all I need to do is run print working directory, pwd, print working directory. Then it shows me I'm inside this. Of course, I'm able to see that I'm inside orange folder here. But the full path to orange folder, this is it. Okay. So from your screen now, the parent folder to orange folder is what? Did you get the question?
No, please come again.
From what you're seeing on your screen, what's the parent folder to this orange folder? You're trying to think about it. Can it be that simple? Yes, it is that simple. See what is on your mind. Do you see the full path? This is the full path to our current working directory. Remember, I told you, look at it properly. The parent folder to orange is this guy.
Okay, EC2 user.
And the parent folder to EC2 user is this guy.
Is home.
And the parent folder to home is this guy, root. Okay. So from what you are seeing now, if I want to go back by one step, what I need to do is to run change directory cd dot. And I'm back. Where did they come back to? If this is where I was before, and I go back by one step, where do you think it will take me to?
Back to EC2 user.
EC2 user, beautiful. So why is it not showing us EC2 user here?
Because you just went back to it.
Good, but I'm supposed you're correct. But however, it's showing us what?
I don't know what that sign is called.
Fine.
Tilde.
Hold on. Tilde, yes.
Yes, it's showing us tilde. So
Okay.
you get what I've been trying to explain since now. That when you see a tilde sign, it means you are in the home folder of the signed in user. And remember I told us that when the user is created, the user home is also created, and the primary group is also created, and the three of them bears the same name. So what we would have seen here is actually what? The name of this folder, EC2 user. But to avoid confusion, EC2 user here, EC2 user here, Linux decided to be using tilde sign. So if this user here had been Abraham, and Abraham is working inside its own home folder, instead of seeing Abraham home folder here, it will use it as what? Tilde. So from orange, I went back by one step to EC2 user. If I go back by one step again, where do you think it will take us to? home, isn't it?
Home.
So let's
Yes.
do that again. Can you see? We are back to this home. If we go back by one step again, it will take us root. If we do that again, look at it. We're now in root. Now, from anywhere you are on your Linux system, from wherever you are in your Linux system, if you run the command cd change directory only, you did not add any other thing to it, it will take you to the user home of the signed in user. To take you to user home from wherever you are. Okay, let's copy this. Meanwhile, how do you copy in Terminus? You do a short highlight. This is a short highlight. Why this is a long highlight? Okay, do a short highlight and on your keyboard run Control Shift C. If it were to be Windows, it's just Control C, but here it is Control Shift C. This is only for Terminus, please. For some other SSH clients like Mobile Xterm, just do a short highlight like this. It has copied. Then go to where you want to paste and right click. It will paste for you. But for Terminus, do short highlight and use the command Control Shift C and take the cursor to where you want to paste it and run Control Shift V. That's pasted for you. So let me cd into Orange. I'm now in Orange now. Can I make directory inside Orange and call it Orange 1? Now let's cd into Orange 1. Can I also make directory and call it Orange 2? And let's cd into Orange 2. Okay, let's clear print working directory. So see where we are, Orange 2. If I want to go back to my user home, what it means is I will go from Orange 2 to Orange 1 to Orange, then here. So I'll go cd dot 1, 2, 3, 3 times. But we are saying now that wherever you are, irrespective of where you are in your Linux, on your Linux server, when you run the command, just cd and tap enter, it takes you to the user home. Okay. Again, let's go back to this guy and then let's cd and let's clear print working directory. Wherever you are and you run cd /, just cd /. Where do you think it will take you to? All the way to where? Root. Can you see that? Are we together?
Can you go run through that again, please?
Good. Wherever you are on your Linux server and you want to go to the user home, just run cd only. cd only takes you to where? The user home. And wherever you are, let's say we are inside this Orange 2. Let's go back to Orange 2. And we want to go to our root. Just run the command cd /. You are now in your root folder. Does it make sense now?
Sir.
Okay. Now, we are inside root and we want to go into Orange 2. How do you think we can move? You either move one by one or you use the absolute power. This is why I said we need to concentrate to make the best out of it. So if I'm inside here and I want to go into Orange 2, I might first go to home. From home, I go to EC2 user. From EC2 user, I go to Orange, into Orange 1, into Orange 2. So let's do it. This part I'm seeing here tells me that Orange 2 is inside Orange 1. Orange 1 is inside Orange. Orange is a folder inside EC2 user. EC2 user is a folder inside home. Home is a folder inside root. And truly, if I list, look at home, this home here. So let's CD into home. If I list, look at EC2 user folder, see it here. So let's CD into EC2 user. If I list, look at orange, this orange here. So let's CD into orange. If I list as well, see orange 1. So let's CD into orange 1. If I also list, you see orange 2, CD into orange 2. And now we are in orange 2. However, in Linux, that's the lazy man or a newbie approach. The best way to get to a specific directory, other than user home directory, other than the root directory, is to specify the full path of that directory. Are you with me? Specify the what? Full path of that directory. Okay. Let's clear print working directory. If I'm in, let me go to cd root etc. etc is one of the file of the user files. So I'm inside etc now. It is a print working directory. All these commands you have been using since, we are still coming back to learn it. I'm only teaching us navigation at this point, so don't let your heart be troubled. If I want to go from etc, I want to go into Orange 2. Okay. Where I am currently does not have bearing with this. How do I know? If I run print working directory, root etc. Okay. So how do I get to Orange 2 from etc? The standard way is to say cd and use the full path. This is the full path to Orange 2. If it is correct, it takes you there. That's it. Now, if you don't know the full path, your best bet will be to either go to user home or you go to root. Okay. So in navigating, there are two paths that are important: the relative path and the absolute path. Let me go to the user home. If I want to go into Orange, because Orange is inside the current folder where I am, I can do cd orange. This is relative path, and it will take me to Orange. Okay. But let me go into somewhere else. cd root etc. I'm inside etc now. If I say cd orange, it tells me no such file or directory, meaning inside this etc folder, there is no folder or file bearing Orange, and that's true. If I list now, of all these plenty things inside Etsy, none of them is bearing orange. Okay, so to use the relative path is useful when the directory you are trying to access exists inside the current working directory. Let's put that to perspective. Orange folder is inside the current working directory. How do I know? When I list the content of this folder, it shows me orange. So I can use relative path to get here by saying cd orange. And I'm in. Okay. If I list again, orange 1 is inside orange, I can say cd orange 1 and I'm in. If I list again, orange 2 is inside orange 1, I can say cd orange 2 and I'm in. Okay. If I run print working directory, look at it. If I go back to my user home, if I say cd orange 2 and I tap enter, do you see that? No such file or directory, because inside this user home, nothing is bearing what? Orange 2. I can do cd orange 2 and it will go to orange 2 if only I'm in the directory where there is orange 2. Do we understand the use of relative path now? Is it clear? Good. But for full path, irrespective of where you are, if you use the full path, it will take you there. So I'm in user home and I want to go to orange 2. If I have the full path to orange 2, I'll just say cd the full path, meaning go into root. When you get into root, go into home. When you get into home, go into EC2 user. From EC2 user, go into orange like that, like that, like that. Does it make sense now? So you now understand how to use relative path and absolute path. Any question? Hello, everyone. Any question?
No.
If you don't understand, I will explain again. You must get it. And I'll be patient for you till you get it. Just let me know what part you don't understand. Okay? All right, let's do it one by one. I'll let clear screen. Clear. Okay, cd. Good. Print working directory. Good. cd. Father Francis, take us to take us to orange 1 using relative path.
Orange 1.
Using relative path.
I only see orange. Okay.
See orange 1 here.
Okay.
So this is where we are.
Yeah.
So with this now, Where do you think we are on this part?
Orange 1. I'm going to copy short copy of orange 1 and paste it here and click enter.
You mean I should copy this?
Yes.
And what?
Press and press enter.
You didn't even put CD.
Oh, sorry.
It's sorry. No, it's not. It's not your fault. I've not taught you. It's okay. Is this relative part or absolute part? This is
the full part.
beautiful. This is full part, which is also called absolute part. How do you know? Start all the way from root, home. Okay. So this is getting to orange 1 by using what? Absolute part, which is called full part, which is correct. But when I said take us to orange 1 by relative part, it means find where you are currently. Print working directory. Root home easy to user. Root home easy to user, isn't it? So then you first go into where? Orange. Then go into what? Orange 1. What you have done here is relative part. And this one is what? Full part. Does it make any sense?
Because I jumped from the middle. I jumped from here.
It's okay. You're welcome, sir. All right. So let's clear. I'm in orange 1. Can someone take me to my user home?
User home.
Yes.
That is.
Just that, well, yeah, from the beginning, she'll be able to take me to my user home. Mr. Abraham and Mr. Gospel.
So you want us to take you to EC2 shock user?
Yes, when I say user home, I mean the home directory of this user or whatever user is here. User home. Take me to the user home. I said ordinary CD.
Okay.
Ordinary CD with what?
CD, we change directory.
Ordinary CD. Just type CD to take you from wherever you are.
User straight, yeah.
You know, right now I'm in this place. If I want to go one by one, that means I'll go back by one step, then by one step again. What I mean is CD dot dot. I'm in orange, then CD dot dot again. I'm in where? User home.
User home.
Okay. But let's say I'm in even somewhere different. Working directory. And I want to go to the user home. And I said, wherever you are at all, CD only takes you to where?
Yeah.
Your
Straight
user
to the
home. And wherever you are, CD / takes you to where? Your root directory.
root directory.
Okay. Good. And we've seen how to use. Okay, there's nothing actually show us. Yeah. Print working directory. If I want to go back by one step, we said the command is what? CD dot dot. Right?
Yes.
Now, if I want to go back by 2 steps, CD dot dot / dot dot. Do you see that?
This is a new one.
Yes, that's why you're in class. You're here to learn the new things, isn't it? This is Linux. CD / CD dot dot / dot dot takes you back by how many steps? 2 steps. So we are currently in orange 1. This is it. So if we're in orange one and we go back by 2 steps, where do you think it's taking us to? Can you see the screen?
Question again, if we're in orange one.
Look at our shell prompt here, sir. What is our current working directory from this shell prompt?
Orange one.
Sir?
Orange one.
Beautiful. We're in orange one. Okay. And I'm saying if we want to go back by 2 steps, this is the command. If you want to go back by 1 step, that means you're in orange 2. You want to go to the parent folder of orange 2, which is orange 1. That means you want to go back by 1 step, cd dot dot. But if you want to go back by 2 steps, so we are in orange 1 now. If we go back by 2 steps, where do you think it's taking us to?
The root user.
The root user?
Yes.
EC2 user.
EC2 user.
Yeah.
This is 1, 2. Look at it. Right? Let's go back. Current working directory. CD. Where do you think this will take us to?
EC.
It
Look
will
at
take
it
us
properly. To where?
to home.
Beautiful. To home. How many steps is this? 1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Is it making sense? Okay, so navigation in Linux is very, very important. Okay. Now, let's go back
Okay.
to our home and let's clear.
I wanted to ask a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so do you mean each uh each dot dot with a slash takes you one, so
One
does
step
it
backward.
so if you add more, then it takes you back.
Yes, just by 1. If I
Okay,
say
like
cd dot dot, take me back by 1 step. If I do dot dot again, by 2 steps, 2 folders back. If I do this again, 3 folders back, 4 folders back, 5 folders back, 6 folders back. If you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take me back by 6 what? Folders. Does it make sense? Hello, sir.
yes.
Okay. Now, let me go into Etsy. What I want to show you next, we need a folder that has a lot of things. To list the content of a folder, you can do that in 2 ways. Either a summary list, which is also called short listing, or a detailed listing. To list the content of, okay, so tell me, what's our current working directory from what you are seeing on your screen? It should not be difficult for us to clearly answer this simple question.
EC.
It's easy to.
How do you know it's EC2?
That's what is displayed. That's what we're working on here.
Ah, are you sure? How do you know the current working directory from here?
The username.
Which one is this? What
That's
I say?
working. This is working directory. What you highlighted is working directory.
No. Did you start the class with us, sir?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I joined some 20 minutes
Oh, Father
ago.
Francis, okay. No wonder. So for those that started the class, it was whatever you see here is what?
Root.
Huh? So this is how you check. This is how we're paying attention in class. It's not even something complex at all.
Is it not the root?
It's not the root, sir.
The question again. So
What I
what's
highlighted currently
Mhm.
in your shell prompt represents what?
It represents orange 1.
No.
No.
What I highlighted currently means this is the name of the user that is
Sorry.
presently
Yes.
on.
The name of the user that is presently on.
Yes, on the machine.
Okay. On
Presently signed in, working.
Okay.
And then after the @ sign, the name you see before this is the @ sign, right?
Yes.
The name you see before the @ sign is the name of the present user. You can have multiple users on the servers. I was explaining run level 5 the other time. Okay. But at this, from use your shell prompt, the user on this server that is active, that is working now, is the name you see before the @ sign. So this name could be anything. It could be Abraham, it could be Gospel, it could be Francis. Okay. After the @ sign, the name you see next is the name of your machine, the name of your server.
IP address.
It could be IP address, could be something else, somewhere else. I can change the name.
Okay.
Okay. It is IP address because that's how AWS decide to give the name of their own machine. Right?
Okay.
If you are using MacBook, this will probably be the name of your PC, Shegun's PC or Father Francis PC. Okay. And what you see next is your current working directory.
Okay.
This is your current working directory. It means this user is working from this folder currently. So either it is tilde sign, or it is a name, or it is a // whatever you see here is your current what? Working directory. If I cd into this, see this space, can you see that it has changed to, so this is your current working directory. This is your current working directory. This is your current, whatever you see here is your what? The
Current
folder
working directory.
where you are currently. The folder where this user is currently. And why you are seeing tilde here is because I explained that this tilde sign means you are in the home folder of this user. Okay, I took my time to explain that when a user is created on the Linux server, two things are created with that user. The home folder, or we call it user home, or we call it home directory of that user, and the primary group of that user. Okay? And we say the three of them bears the same name. Therefore, the primary group of this EC2 user is also called what? EC2 user. The home folder of this EC2 user is also called what? EC2 user. How do you now differentiate it is where you will find them. Let's digress a little. so you can understand better. Let me quickly create another user. Let me say sudo user add. You will still learn all of these commands. User add gospel. Okay. Sudo password gospel. Okay, good. SU gospel. Pay attention. Do you see this? So, who is this guy?
Gospel.
So, who is he?
The
The
person working on
current, beautiful. The present
person
user.
working user, yeah.
This is the current. Whatever name you see before the at sign means the what?
The current user. The
Beautiful.
person working on the server.
Good. And this is the machine inside where gospel is working.
Yes.
And what is here?
That's where he's working.
Good. The directory, the current working directory.
Current working directory.
All right. But this tilde sign means what? It means the home directory. Beautiful. The home folder, home directory, user home, any one of the three of gospel.
Gospel.
When it was here, this tilde sign means the home folder, the user home, or home directory of EC2 user.
EC2.
So the tilde sign here means the home folder of whoever user is signed in. Okay. If I run print working directory, can you see home gospel? When it was EC2 user, what you will find here is what? EC2 user. So remember I told you that when you create a user on the Linux machine, two other things are created. And those two things also bears the same name as the user. So as I have created gospel now, as I have created a user called gospel, that means there is a home folder of gospel bearing what? Gospel. And there is also a primary group of gospel bearing what? Gospel as well. How did I know the difference? Where you will find them. Let me quickly show you where to find them, and then we can go on our ergonomics break. For all home users, for all user homes, you will find them inside the root home directory. So if I say cd root home now, and I list, look at the directory, the user home of EC2 user, and the home directory of gospel. Okay. So when I'm inside this home directory, what I will find inside home directory by default are the user homes of the users on the Linux server. Now, please be careful that you find these directories here does not automatically mean these are all the users that are currently on the Linux server. It could be more, it could be less. The only assurance you can have is the folders you find here, are the home folders of the users on your Linux server. Now, if you want to know for sure all the users you have on your Linux machine, there is a file, not a folder, now there's a file called password. If you go to view this file, you will see all
The user.
the users on your Linux server.
So can I ask a question?
Please go ahead, sir.
So what it means is that if any other person apart from gospel, let's say Father Francis, who is also a user, comes and logs in onto this system and does something that there's more like an audit trail to show, okay, he came and he did something and he left. Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay.
What every user is doing is being logged.
Okay.
So if I create another user now, I'll call the user Father Francis. If I come to the home, I will see the user home of Father Francis automatically created here.
Okay.
All right. Shall we continue?
Yes.
Now, you see, there are some files on the Linux machine that are known database files. Known database files. They are called known because Linux knows them. And then, if you want to view them, you can use the command get entry with the name of those files. Okay? You can, from wherever you are, you can just say get entry password. If it is not a known database to Linux, if you say get entry, the name of an unknown database, to tell you it does not exist because you are not in the folder where that file is at the moment. Let me break it down. Let me show you where password file is. cd root etc. We are inside etc now. If I list and pipe and grep for password. So you see what this command is. When we get into learning simple commands, I will show you. I just want to tell you something about password. Password is a file inside this etc folder. Okay. So let me go back to user home. I'm back to my user home. If I want to view the content of this file, normally what I should have used is the what? The absolute path. I will say cat root etc password. And it shows me I have EC2 user and I also have gospel user. Okay. Let me clear screen.
Excuse me, those are the two people currently working on the
These are the not working. These are the two users
Okay.
I have. The rest are also users, but they are internal users, not open to you. But
Okay.
the password, so the summary is the password file. This guy is a file, not a folder. The password file is where you will find all the users on your Linux machine. Do you copy that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, if I say cat password, there's background noise somewhere. Please take it down. Thank you. I say cat password and it tells me no such file or directory. I will let you figure something out now. Just please pay attention. I'm inside the user home and I said cat password and it says no such file or directory. Okay. Then I change directory to etc. And again, I run cat password and it showed me all of this. So what's the difference? Okay. And I go back to user home again and I say cat password and it says no such file or directory. Is anybody able to explain what's happening?
the other people, they are working behind. They are not open, like you rightly said the other time.
No, not the content itself. Why am I able to cut password when I'm inside Etsy and I could not cut it when I'm inside user home?
Because there's no password stored in the user home, it's stored in Etsy.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. This is relative part. I did not declare the full part. You can use relative part only when you are inside the parent folder of either the folder or the file you are going to. So when I was inside Etsy, I know that password is a file inside Etsy. There are many things inside Etsy if I list it for you. Look at it. Many things inside Etsy file. Sorry, inside Etsy folder. But this is password here. So I know that there is password inside this Etsy folder. So I can run at password and it will show me. If I return to user home, there is no password here. In fact, there's nothing now. For now, there's nothing inside this user home. And I run cat password. That means view password. It showed me nothing. Do you capture the difference now? Are you with me, everyone?
Yes.
Good. But with the absolute or the full path, wherever you are, it will work. So I'm inside user home. If I say cat root Etsy password, so you see that I specified the absolute path to password. So it will display it for me. And this is the standard that Linux best practice approves. Are we together? So wherever you are at all.
Can we try the Etsy password again and see what will come out, please? I want to just get something clear, please.
Okay, tell me what you want me to do now. Just tell me.
Etsy password alone without putting cat.
Cat, okay. Etsy password like this.
No, the command upstairs. Sorry, at the top.
This one.
Yes, this one. Yes.
I should try it again.
No. I want you to please remove the cats. I want us to do root Etsy password.
Just this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, but
so
then,
is that what you want me to do? No, look at the base of my screen. I'm typing it.
Sorry,
Root
I can't see the
Etsy password.
Yes, root Etsy password. I can't see the base of it.
Oh, okay, let me clear.
Thank you. Yes.
This.
Yes. Okay. Okay, permission denied.
What do you want to achieve with this? What do you want to check?
I want to see the different. No, I want to see the. I want to see the different result is going.
Okay.
I want to see the outcome, the different result, the outcome of the commands, the two different commands.
Okay. All right. So wherever you are at all, if you know the full path of the file or the folder you want to access, use it. Okay. So you know how to now appropriate relative path and absolute path now. But then I was telling you about get entry. Get entry will enable you to view a known database to your Linux. Okay. If I try cat password here, which will not allow me because I'm not in the parent directory of password. So I needed to use the full path. Okay. But if I use get entry password, you see that it showed me without specifying the full path. Why? This password file is a known database to Linux. So for non-Linux database, you can use get entry from wherever you are on the Linux server and it will take you there. Okay. Let's cd into Orange. Let me list. Okay, this is gospel. Let us exit. We are back to EC2. List cd into Orange. cd into Orange 1, cd into Orange 2. If I say cat password, I'm inside Orange 2. No such file or directory. But if I say cat root etc password, I specify the full path. From Orange 2, it showed me. Okay. If I also say get entry password from Orange 2 without specifying the full path, it showed me. Okay. But let's go to user home and create a file, touch HR. I'm coming back to teach us how to create file. I just touch a file and I say cat HR. Showed me nothing because HR does not have anything inside of it. If I cd into Orange 1, Orange 2, okay, and I say cat HR, it tells me no such file or directory. Why? Because truly there is no HR inside Orange 2. But if I say get entry HR, another trouble. Okay, it's unable to show me HR. Why? This is what I just highlighted. Anybody see what I highlighted now?
Yes, unknown database.
Database.
Beautiful. Unknown database. So get end will only work for what? Known database. How do we know them? If I say manual get end, get entries from name service switch libraries. The getEnt command displays entries from database supported by name service switch libraries, which are configured, blah, blah, blah. See them. Host, aliases, either group, gshadow, host, net group, password, protocol, RPC. Okay. Quit. So from wherever you are, you use get entry for a known database to show you. But if I just run cat password, nothing. But if I run cat password with the what? Full path, it will show me. So all the users on the Linux server will be found where? Which file is carrying all the users on the Linux server class? Are we together? Where are you going to find all the users on the Linux server? I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello.
Did you get the question?
How are we going to get those one using using the all who are using the Linux server? Yeah. Is that the question?
Where will you find all the users on a Linux server? That's the question, sir.
Is it a get?
The password file.
Password. Okay.
Don't worry, you get it takes time. The more you watch, the more you practice, it will become innate with you. Okay. So if I want to see all the users on a Linux server, where do I go to? I'll go and view the password file. So if I say concatenate, that is cat root etc password. Look at it. EC2 user gospel. I can also use get entry password. Okay. So all the groups on the Linux server can also be found in a file called group. So if I run cat root etc group, look at it. This is the primary group of EC2 user. This is the primary group of gospel. Group is also a known database. What does that tell us? I can use getEnt group. Look at it. Okay. So we see that three things: user, the primary group of the user, and the user home. These three will bear the same name. So I created a user called gospel. Then it automatically created the primary group called gospel and the user home also called gospel. We know where the users are found inside the password file. We know where all the groups are found inside the group file. The user home is found inside the home folder. Okay. So if I say cd root home, I will find all the user home of the users. And again, a reminder, you want to see the users on the server, go to password file, don't come to home folder and think that's where you will find all the users. Okay, so let's take 10 minutes ergonomic break now. When we come back, we come and look at basic Linux commands. Okay, let's take 10 minutes now. So let's look at some basics Linux command. Let's start with listing the content of a directory. If you want to see the content of this directory, you can list the content either in short form or in detailed form. To list in short form, the command is ls, list in short form. To list in detailed form, the command is ls flag. This thing we call hyphen or dash. Linux calls it flag if it is used in this way. ls flag l, list long form, a detailed listing. Okay, the ones that are in blue, these are directories called folders. Okay, they are the ones that have D. This one that have D, they are directories. Why the ones that do not have D, they are files. Okay, They are the ones in color white or color green, depends on the color of your terminal. So we've seen how to list the content of a folder. LS short form, LS flag L long form. You can also list with hidden files. So if I say ls flag A, meaning show me the content of this etc folder and all hidden files. Okay, so it's showing all and even the hidden ones, like updated is hidden. How do I know it has a dot before it? Which other one? Anyone that has a dot before it, they are all hidden files and folders. Okay, I've only seen one. Okay.
Please, which command did you type to get all these lists?
ls flag A,
ls.
meaning show me
ls.
all. Flag A, show me all. Then if I try ls flag LA, show me all in detailed formats. So I know this dot updated is hidden file because it has a dot before the name. You want to hide a file or a folder, name it and put a dot before the name. Okay. I also know password.lock is also hidden. It has a dot before the name. Okay. Now, there are what we call aliases in Linux. Pay attention. Aliases in Linux are things we use in place of some other things. Things we use in place of some other things. So I can say ls flag L. That's 5 things. Okay, let's count it. 1, 2, space, 3, 4, 5. Now, ls flag L has an alias, which is LL. So, LL will perform what ls flag L will do for us. So, LL is an alias to ls flag L. Aliases can be created. There are default aliases. Okay, if I run alias, you will see the known alias. Got it. LL is an alias to ls flag L. Okay, so why do we use aliases? If there are commands that are long, can create an alias of that command so that if we're going to be using that command often, instead of having to type that long command, we just use their alias. So you have seen me use LL often. LL means list in details the content of a file or a folder. Sorry, the content of a folder, not a file, please. LL works with folders. And if I say LL flag A, lists all the content of a folder, even the hidden ones. Okay, so that is how to list the content of a folder. Any question? Okay, let's clear CD and let's move on. If I want to create a directory, I want to create a folder. How do I do that? You use the command make directory, that is mkdir. The MK is make and the DRR is directory. So I want to create a folder. The command is make directory, the name of the folder. If I say Apple, and if I list, I've created Apple. I can create more than one, make directory, I can say banana, lemon, lime, pine, apple. And if I list, I've created more than one. Okay. If your directory has more than one name, let's say the directory is Segun's folder, I can say make directory Segun underscore folder. Okay. But if I say make directory Segun folder, you know that this will end up creating two folders for us. Call the first one Segun, call the second one folder. But what if I want to say is Abraham folder, make directory Abraham folder, and it's just one word. I have to string it. If I string make directory Abraham folder, okay, this is not correct. Make, look at my make directory, there's double T here. Okay, so make directory Abraham folder. Can you see? But like I was telling the class yesterday, this is not appropriate. You want to give the name of your file or a directory one single name, instead of leaving an empty space between names to give you problem when you're working with that file, with that folder. Okay. So I've shown us how to create directory. How then do we delete directory? Remove dir, remove directory lemon. It's gone. If I list, you see lemon is gone. I can also delete more than one. I can say remove directory lime, banana, pineapple. Can you see they're all gone? Now look at remove directory orange. Remove directory orange did not work. Failed to remove directory orange. The reason is directory is not empty. If you want to delete an empty directory, sorry, if you want to delete a directory that is not empty, you will first have to go and remove the content of those directory. Now, what if the content of those directory also have content? You also go into the directory and remove the content. What if the content also have something inside? So that onion effect goes on and on. So how do we now delete a directory that is not empty? To delete a directory that is not empty, the command is remove. You will no longer add dir again. Flag R. R means recursive. Recursive is an English word saying everything associated with something. And flag F, that means recursively and forcefully, force it, the name of the directory. So you want to remove a directory that is not empty, you use rm, you will no longer put dir, and then you put these two flags, rm flag rf, recursive and forcefully delete, and that's it. Apple is gone. Sorry, I want to delete orange, not apple, please. Orange is the one that is not empty. Orange is gone. Any question?
No question. This one is clear.
Okay. So we've seen how to create directory, how to remove directory when it is empty, how to remove it when it is not empty. So let's look at how to create a file. Okay, folders, we've seen it. Now file. 3 ways. You can use the touch command to create an empty file. So if I say touch sales and I list, and you see, however, it is empty. I can also use touch to create multiple files. Touch finance, like I might want to put their extension so that I'm able to differentiate if it is a text file .txt. If it is a bash script file, I can say call it code .sh bash script. If it is a tar file, I can say file1.tar. Okay, but all these files are empty files. That's how to create a file. Okay. Now, how do I print into a file if it is empty and if it is not empty? Look at sales. I want to print into sales. That means I want to write something into sales. I can use echo. Print list of sales for August 2024. I string it, print it into sales. Okay. Now to see the content of sales, I will say cat sales. Can you see? List of sales for this. To see the content, I can also use more sales. See? So touch is to create empty file. Echo is to print into the file. If I say echo most August sales are in the first week, and I say sales. If I cut sales now, do you see? What did you notice there? Did anybody notice
It
anything?
brings the first command, most August sales
See,
on the first week.
good. It has overwritten the content of sales.
Okay.
We no longer see list of sales for August. Okay, what we now see is what? Most August sales.
Most August sales are in first week.
Good. But if that's not our intention, we don't want to overwrite. We want to just append to what is already there. You will say echo. We do not want to overwrite the previous sales record. Then you will now use double of this operand. Does it make sense? Sales. If you use the single of this, then it will overwrite whatever is in sales with what I have inside this string for me. But if I use double of this, it will just append to what is there. Okay. So if I cut sales now, do you see that it did not overwrite? Rather, it appended to what was there already. Any question?
So this command I will just run.
Yes.
What is the what do we achieve? What do we intend to achieve with it?
You have a file, or you are asked to create for a reason. You are in a project. You need to create a file, and you need to type something into the file. That's the command. Just like you're on your Windows server, you want to create a file, say a word. You use the word app, isn't it?
Yes.
And you want to type into it. You use the application Microsoft Office to open the Word file and begin to type.
Okay.
Okay. The use is numerous, but the first thing is you know how to what to do it. So that when there's need to use it, you know how to get it done, which you will see numerous use. Okay. Have you heard of Bash script before? Anna Francis.
No, I've answered it.
Oh, okay. If you've heard of Bash scripting before, you need to edit a file before you begin to list in sequential order all your commands. If you don't know how to edit a file, how then do you create a Bash script? Okay, which we will also get to. So, assuming we want to create a file, we want to write into a file that does not exist. If I say echo, we are live in Linux class, echo that into marketing. You know that in this place, there is no file here or even a folder bearing marketing, right? So if I say echo this into marketing, what it will do is it will create a file called it marketing, and it will print this guy inside that file. So let's list. We now have a file called marketing. If I cut marketing, no, it is cut. And you see. So you can use touch to create an empty file, and you can use echo to print into both new file and existing files. Does it make sense? Are we together?
Yes.
Okay. The third way of creating a file I've shown us to is to use a file editor. Okay. Let's say what I want to type into a file is plenty, is numerous. I can't begin to use echo to waste my time. Rather, I'll use file editor. There are 3 Linux file editors: VI, modified VI called VIM, and Nano. These are 3 popular Linux file editors. They will edit any kind of file, bash script, TAD file, all of that. Let's start with VI. If I say VI marketing, do you see that the interface changed to an editor? So to begin to type now, I will have to go to the insert mode. To go to insert mode, you press I on your keyboard. The moment I pressed I, you see that this guy showed insert. Okay. I can now begin to type all that I want to. I can even go to a new line and skip lines and type. You see that you can't do this with echo, but you are able to do this with validate or VI. When you're done with all you need to do with the file and you want to save and escape and exit rather, the first thing you do is you get out of this insert mode. How do you do that? You press escape on your keyboard. Do you know that I press escape, the insert mode is gone? If I want to save what I've done, then I'll put column, write, W means save, quit for Q, and then bang for execute this command. Column, write, quit, bang. Column, save it, quit this interface, and then execute, bang. That's it. So if I cut marketing now, can you see all that is inside marketing? The same way we can use VIM sales. Do you see that the editor of VIM and VI is similar? So to get into insert mode, I press I. It shows me insert. Then I can begin to do all I want to do. When you're done and you want to escape and you want to leave, you press escape. It means go out of the insert mode. If you do not intend to save what you have been doing, maybe you are not sure if you have messed with the file or not, so you just want to leave it as you met it, you don't want to save, then you see column. This time around, you will not write. There won't be, what write means saving to this, so you won't write, you will just see column, quit, and bang. If you execute this, it will not save all the changes. So if I run cat sales, can you see that it did not save all those 20 things I typed, right? So that's VI and VIM. Now, nano sales. When you use nano, you don't need to type insert to begin type. Neither do you need to type escape to get out of the insert mode. Once you enter the interface of nano, you can type straight away. Okay. Once you are here, begin to type. And once you are done, look at all the commands here. If you do the thing you can undo, you can redo, you can exit, you can get help. So if I want to see what I've done here, Control X means exit. I will first say Control X. Then it will ask me, save, modify the buffer. Y for yes, N for no. Capital Y means yes. Now, do I want to save it into this same sales file? Yes, I'll just type enter. And that's it. So if I cut sales, see that what we did saved. So I've shown us how to use VI at this basic level, VIM and Nano. What that also means is if a file does not exist, or neither does it exist as a folder, you can VI into a new file you want to create, do all your editing, save it, and it will automatically create that file for you. So let's say VI class 1. See, it automatically tells you that this is a new file. to begin to type, what will I press, class? To start
You press
typing here.
I insert.
Beautiful. I have pressed I, and now I can type. I'm done. What do I do to escape the insert?
You do escape.
Press escape.
Then you do
I want to save
WQ.
column first.
Yeah, column first. Yeah.
Then write W, quit after you've saved it, and then bang. Write, quit, and bang. Tap enter. So you see that if I list, it has created class 1 automatically. And if I cut class 1, no, it is cut, not CST. If I cut class 1, I find all of this inside. Any questions? Any question, class?
So far, so good.
All right. I'm glad you are following. So we've seen how to use touch. We've seen how to use echo. We've seen how to use the cat, concatenate. We've seen how to use VI, VIM, nano. We've seen a lot of things today. Okay. I think I should let us rest at this point and then go and practice. Okay, it's a good place to stop so that you can practice, and then we can pick it up from next week, Tuesday. Do you have any question?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, quick one here. So if I want to get the Linux software, how do I go about it? Like to assist me in practicing all that has been taught?
Okay,
Right.
sir, because we still have time, I can quickly show you. Are you connected from your laptop at the moment?
Yes, sir.
So if I make you a co-host, you can share your screen.
Sure.
Yes, so you're now a co-host now. Please share your screen. It's part of what we did in our last class, but since we are here and we are not many, let's use it as a refresher for the rest of us. So go ahead and share your screen. We are using AWS platform. So you have to first create an account with AWS.
Okay. I have to create the account now.
Or
Okay.
do you want to go and watch the class video?
Yeah, you can ask now.
So I dropped my email, but I'm yet to get it.
It will be sent to you after this class.
Yes. Okay, so which one goes first? Is it when? Okay, like which one goes first? Registering on the.
Yes, you have to register with AWS first. When you successfully create an AWS account,
Right.
then you create an IAM. Because if you look at our own AWS account, we are signed in as IAM. Okay, best practice is don't work as root.
Okay.
Create an IAM. When you create an IAM, sign in as an IAM into your AWS account, then launch an EC2 instance. When you launch an EC2 instance, you can now connect to it via SSH. But that video is very, very straightforward.
Okay, from the first class, I can connect.
Yes, you can connect. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then I advise that once you're done practicing for the day, terminate your instance. So go to the instances, check it, and terminate. Do not leave your instances running. The reason
So,
is in
coach,
that video. Go ahead, sir.
you know, we created 2 instances when we started,
Yes.
and somehow it looks like we just used only one throughout. We
Yeah,
didn't
that's
use this.
because all the commands we've been learning so far is the same on the second one too.
Oh, okay, okay.
The reason why I created two is because in case I use a command that will be different on the other distro of Linux, I'll go there and show you. But so far, what we have learned, can you see my PDF file?
Yes.
What we have learned so far, the command is the same across all distributions of Linux. Your shell prompt, your current working directory, your list, your changing directory, your make directory, your rmrf. So far, they are all the same on all the distros of Linux. Okay.
So today we stopped at I. That's VIM and Nano. That's all
Yes.
we stopped.
Okay. From our next class, we begin to look at copy, move, grep. Okay, and even we go into user management, how you can create users, how you can create a group, how you can make a user a super user. Okay,
Okay.
and all of this. Probably be looking into permissions as well.
Hello, coach.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I have a question, and
Go ahead.
again, my son is with me, be listening and following the class as a question, so I don't know if it's permissible.
Why not?
Okay, now the first question I wanted to ask is, you said they're going to return our $1 the other after the
Yes.
class. They've not refunded my own.
Are you sure? Have you checked your account?
Yes,
Did you refund it?
they've not refunded. They've not refunded my own.
Is it up to 24 hours yet?
It's more than 24 hours. That was on Tuesday. It was on Tuesday, 8 p.m. our time here. Yes, after 8:38 our time here. Until today, they've not refunded it.
They may have. What kind of card are you using, sir?
MasterCard.
They probably have applied this as credit back to your account. Or there are some cards that they are unable to return it directly to your banker, but they will apply it as a credit into your account. Okay. So
Because
one way,
I checked my account balance. I was just trying to say, yeah, and there is not on my statements either.
okay, so one thing you can also do, can you see my screen, sir?
Yes.
Look at this question mark here.
Yes.
You can contact support center.
Okay.
Okay. But for others, did they return your $1?
Honestly, I've never checked.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
that you
Please
mentioned
check.
it. I've not checked.
Normally they will return it. Okay. So for that person who that they didn't return, click on this and click on support. When you scroll down, click on create case. Don't forget the topic here is billing. Click on create case, account and billing. Billing service under category. You want to appeal. Let me see. Charge inquiry, yes. And then general question, leave it that way. Okay, then next, additional information. Okay. Say account, I'm just trying to say account opening charge not refunded. Then type it here. I opened an account with AWS. So date. I was temporarily charged $1 and I'm yet to get a refund. Okay.
I wasn't charged. So
Oh, you are not charged. Okay.
no.
Yeah. So I know that for some accounts, especially if you are not, if your banker is not known, they will temporarily charge you $1 and then they return it back to your account. Okay. Now returning it back to your account may mean You turn it directly into your banker, or they apply it as a credit to your account. Whichever case it is, AWS will not hold you. I promise you that.
Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm. What's the second question?
Good evening, sir. My name is Dara Simi,
You're
and my
welcome.
question is that why can't we use the SSH client that comes with our device? Like my laptop comes with its own terminal. Do we have to use terminals, or we can also use the one that comes with our device?
Beautiful question, Dara. So you can use the SSH client that comes with your. Do you use a MacBook?
No, a Chromebook.
Chromebook, beautiful. So you can also use that one as long as you're comfortable with it. Yes,
Okay.
right. However, on the job, there are some job that speculate that you use specific SSH client. Okay, so it's good to know how to use all this. Like I can use virtually the SSH client that there are. PuTTY, MobileXterm, Chrome, Permeos. Even if you use a
Sorry,
Mac,
there is an interference that is affecting me.
I think there's someone whose background is I think it's okay, so that person has muted. Thank you. So yes, you can use the SSH client that you have access to currently without having to download Permeos. Why we're using Permeos in classes because it is available across all operating systems. So let's say your PC is running on Windows, you can run Permeos. If your PC is running on Mac, you can run Permeos. You can even use Permeos on your Android phone. You can use it on your iOS. That's why we decide to use Permeos in class. It's not as though we are stuck to Permeos, no. So yes, go ahead with your Chromebook if you're convenient, you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Another question. No other question. Thank you, coach.
You're welcome, sir. All right, that's it. We've come to the end of class. Don't forget to terminate your server so that you don't necessarily rake up your 750 hours per month. Also, it will help you to practice how to launch servers. So while you're practicing, if you run into any problem, take a screenshot, put it on our group page, then we'll address it from there. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you on Tuesday. Goodbye.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.